Okay, 5-1 scale drawing notes. So I want you to think about scale drawings. Y'all know what those are. They are a smaller version or larger, usually smaller version though, of something that's actually large. So we scale things down, and we've talked about scaling up and scaling down before in class. But a scale drawing is usually a smaller, like a map if you have the map of Texas, that is really a scale drawing of all of Texas, okay? So a scale drawing represents something that is too large or too small to be drawn or built in actual size. Similarly, a scale model can be used to represent something that is too large or too small for an actual size model. The scale gives a relationship between the drawing model measure and the actual measure. Okay, so I don't know if you've looked at a map before, but on a map, there's like a little thing in the corner that shows you, it says like 1 inch equals 50 miles. For example, I don't know that that's true, but that's something that, would show up for something. Now we use Google Maps instead, but old school says a regular map. Okay, so on this map, each grid unit represents 50 yards. Determine the horizontal distance from Patrick's Point to Agate Beach. Okay, so Patrick's Point to Agate Beach. We're looking for the horizontal. Horizontal means flat. So really we're looking for right here. Okay, so on the map it says that 1 unit represents 50 yards. So 8 units represents how many yards? We've done that before, okay? That's called scaling up. So they even worded it like a words known unknown, like we've been doing in the past. So the known is 1 unit to 50 yards. The unknown is 8 units is how many yards. So we can scale up here. They said you can just do times 8, and 50 times 8 is 400. Okay, so it's 400 yards from Agate Beach to Patrick's Point. Okay, so that makes a little more sense. So that's how you would set this up. We're going to set all the scale drawing stuff up in a words known unknown. So if I write my words on things, it just gives me a clearer version of how it should look. So like, for example, number 1, it says Los Angeles to San Diego, California is 6.35 centimeters. But if the scale is 1 centimeter equals 20 miles, how many actual distance is it? Okay, so my words are going to be centimeters to miles. Okay, my known is going to be the scale here because that's what's my given. Okay, so which is 1 centimeter to 20 miles. My unknown is going to be 6.35 centimeters. Okay, and is how many miles? That's the scale up. You can multiply by 6.35, but we're going to just go ahead and cross multiply just so we can show that step because I showed the scaling up. X times 1 is just X. 20 times 6.35. I'm going to come up here and do 6.35 times 20. Okay. 0 times, we're going to just put our marker spot. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry your 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. 2 times 6 is 12. 1, 2, 1, 2. So our total would be 127 miles here. So I'm going to put that in my chart. Okay. So Lexington to Louisville. Okay. So it's 15.6 centimeters. So 1 centimeter equals 5 miles. Okay. So I'm going to do my words, centimeters to miles. Okay. It tells me that 1 is 5. So 15.6 is X. Okay, I just need to make sure that I put everything in each specific spot. Guys, when we talked about proportions back in the unit before, we talked about proportions being, 3 numbers. If you have 3 numbers, you should probably set it up as a proportion. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So anytime you see that, you might set that up as a proportion. So we're going to cross multiply here. X times 1 is 1. or 1x. And then 15.6, I'm going to come up here, 15.6 because I got a little bit more room, times 5. 28, 7, 1, 1, 1. So it's 78 miles. Okay. So I want you to pause the video real quick, and I want you to try to set this one up. So pause your video. I want you to set this one up as a words, known, unknown. Des Moines to Cedar Rapids, Idaho. Okay, you should have paused that video. Set this one up. So hopefully you set it up like I'm fixing to set it up. So our known right here is the centimeters to miles. So centimeters to miles. And then we have 2 to 15. So 16.27 to x. Okay, so this is 2x, 2 times x. And then this is 15 times 16.27. So I don't have a lot of room here. So I'm going to come over here. I'm just reversing the numbers actually over here. So 16.27 times 15. And sorry I'm doing the math silently. I just thought sometimes you don't need to hear me multiply. Sometimes you do. 1, 2, 1, 2. So I got 244.05. Now what am I going to do after that? I hadn't had to do this step before. I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So it's going to give me 122.025. And it's going to be miles. Okay. This last one is a little bit harder, I believe, just because it's changing up what we have here. Okay. So it's saying that a half a centimeter equals a mile. Okay. So if we do a half of centimeter, we're saying we can't leave that fraction there. So I'm going to go centimeters, miles. And then I'm going to say 0.5 to 20 equals 11.73 over x. Okay, so I'm going to convert that half to a 0.5. I think that makes it just a little bit easier. And so you're going to multiply these two, and you're going to say 0.5 times x is 0.5x. And then 11.73 times 20. Two times 3 is 6. 2 times 7 is 14. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. We have 2 behind the decimal, so we have 2 behind the decimal in our answer. And I got 243.6. Okay, now we need to divide that. Yesterday, what we were doing was we were having a lot of trouble with dividing decimals for some reason. So we're going to divide this decimal in a different... I'm going to give us some more room right here. I'm going to scale it out, so move it out. 243.6 divided by 0.5. Okay, when we have a decimal, we do outside, inside, up. So now our decimal should go there. 5 will go into 20 here. 43. This should be 8 and 40. 36, so 7. 35. Drop 1 down. We add a 0 and drop it down. 5 will go into 10 2 times. So our answer here is 487.2. Now I feel pretty good about those answers, and this is going to be miles also. Okay, so let's look at number 5. Determine the length of each object on the scale drawing with the given scale. Then determine the scale factor. Okay, so let's just talk about the words here. An automobile is 16 feet long, and they're saying 1 inch equals 6 inches. Okay, so we got some conversions there. So our scale is inches to inches. Now, then determine the scale factor. Determine the length of each object on the scale drawing with the given scale. Okay, so inches, that's 1 inch equals, I say let's change. I don't know why it's 1 inch is 6 inches. That doesn't really, let's go ahead and change this to feet. So 1 inch equals 6 feet. Okay, so let's do inches to feet as our words. Our known needs to be 1 inch equals 6 feet. And our unknown is 16 feet. Okay, so that doesn't scale up easily. So we're going to cross multiply and divide. So 6x equals 16. Divide by 6. X equals 2 and 4/6, which is 2 and 2/3. Okay. Okay. So our next one says a pond 85 feet across if 1 inch equals 4 feet. So this is the wording that we're talking about. This is our known information. So our words are inches to feet. Okay. So our known is 1 to 4. And then 85 feet. So it goes on the bottom. That's where we got to match up. We need to make sure that if inches are on top, and feet are on the bottom, that it matches up in that direct order. Okay. So I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to get 4x equals 85. Divide both sides by 4. X is going to equal to 21.2. Okay. So it's going to, Nope. 21.25. Let me do it right here. 21.25, I think. Point 2. Yep, 21.25. Okay, so our answer here is 21.25. Okay, our last and final example, we have a flag that is 5 feet wide. It's 2 inches equals 1 foot. So inches to feet. If 2 inches equals 1 foot, then how many inches does 5 feet? Okay, we can scale up here, times 5. So times 5 here. So it would be a 10-inch scale drawing. Okay, so this is the scale factor. It's times 5 right here on this one. On the other one, you're getting the, you're finding the missing value. And then your scale factor is going to be like on 16, it's going to be 2 1/3 times as big. You know, on this one right here, it goes from 4 feet to 85 feet. It's going to be times that 21.254. That's your scale factor. So I just wanted you to check with that. On the back side is your homework. Please do your homework and then check in with a substitute or check in with your teacher and make sure that that's all you need to complete.